Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing The Horror of Frankenstein, released in 1970. The Horror of Frankenstein stars Ralph Bates, Kate O'Mara, Veronica Carlson, Dennis Price, Jon Finch, Bernard Prichard, and David Prowse. The Horror of Frankenstein was directed by Jimmy Sangster. This one was based on a script by Jeremy Burnham and Jimmy Sangster. And this one has been called a black comedy variation of Curse of Frankenstein. And I watched this dreading it, just thinking that this was going to be some weird comedy. And prior to this, the only thing I had seen Ralph Bates in was Lust for a Vampire. And his performance in that was weak and horrible. I think that's his worst performance in anything. And that was the only thing I had seen him in before, so that was what I was thinking I was going to get from this film. So imagine my surprise when, number one, I didn't feel that this was comedic in any respect at all. And number two, Ralph Bates was pretty damn good as Baron Victor Frankenstein. Is he as good as Peter Cushing? Hell no. But is this a good Hammer film with Ralph Bates playing Frankenstein? Yes, it is. And he gets a really good supporting cast in here with him, with Kate O'Mara playing Elise. And she is so sexy, but at the same time manipulative as a character, that you're like, yeah, this is not going to end well for this girl, you know. She's pushing her luck with some of the stuff she's doing, because she's a servant girl to the Frankenstein family in here, and she is very dominant with her manipulations and everything that she does in here. And, you know, you just know that eventually she's going to push Ralph Bates's Frankenstein too far, and it happens. And then you have Veronica Carlson as Elizabeth. And although I think she's underutilized in this, she's not as well utilized as what Kate O'Mara is. Her performance is still very good in this film. Jon Finch as Lieutenant Henry Becker is pretty good too in here. I liked his performance in this. And David Prowse as the monster. He makes a pretty intimidating monster in this, just like he was intimidating when he, you know, was in the costume playing Darth Vader. So, yes, Jimmy Sangster isn't quite as polished and as good of a director as what Terence Fisher was on all of his Frankenstein movies that he directed. But this one is not bad at all. I would rewatch this one anytime. In fact, if I went on a marathon of just watching the Hammer Frankenstein movies, I might watch this one instead of Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, just because it doesn't have no rape scene on Veronica Carlson. And Veronica Carlson is treated much more respectfully in this film. So that's a high praise that Horror of Frankenstein is probably would be considered higher on my list of Frankenstein films than what a actual Peter Cushing movie would be. But very, very good film. Very competently shot. Like I said, it's not as good as Terence Fisher, but not many directors are as good as Terence Fisher. So I will give The Horror of Frankenstein from 1970. I will give this film a 8.8 out of 10. It is almost a 9. Now, had this film maybe starred Peter Cushing just reprising his role, and this had not been like, oh, we're going to make it a younger version of Frankenstein again, and, you know, kind of almost like a soft reboot or some shit, you know, or whatever, I might have rated it higher. But what do you guys think of The Horror of Frankenstein? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, don't forget to click on that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. All right. So that is the end of another Hammer Productions night. Hope you guys will join me tomorrow for another action movie night. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.